So, the new update for Dying Light 2, the Good Night Good Luck update, just dropped. This claims to refine the parkour of the game while making nights more difficult. So let's look at that now. I just asked that you do one thing. Try to keep up. Yes, this update does exactly what it says. As you can clearly tell, the parkour feels significantly faster than it did yesterday, and there are a handful of changes that were done. Some are instantly welcomed, and others may need some adjusting to get used to. Keep in mind that I have the parkour set to physical in the menu, as you can now change between physical and automatic. So, to list the things that I wrote down, we have these. You can now hold interact to slide down certain billboards with a throwing knife, which also lets you look around as you descend. As a note, this won't expend the knife. Vaulting is faster and more fluid with updated animations to reflect this. The far jump has a slightly tighter input window, though it may not be that much different for some. Vertical bars and monkey bars retain momentum. Dismissing your paraglider no longer resets momentum. The slide jump now needs an actual jump input, which it previously needed a block input, and the jump happens pretty much instantly. Auto sprint can now be toggled, though I like to keep it on. Zip lines aren't nearly as sticky, so if you try to leave a zip line, then looking at it is pretty much the way that you need if you wish to go back to it. Dodging is more responsive and by definition pretty much instant as well. The bash feels a bit weaker, but that might be due to some slight changes that they've done. The dropkick retains momentum, so you'll be at the same speed as you initiate it, unlike previously when it pretty much drops your momentum to a third. The after boost timing happens a bit later, so if you got used to on nearly instantly having to hit the sprint so that you could get the boost, then you're going to have to adjust a little bit. And ascending with lines is now pretty much instant. By this, I mean the lines that are near UV zones and safe zones. So previously, you used to be able to grab onto a line, and it would take about a half second for it to start ascending, but now it's pretty much instant. Along with this, there are also changes for the night. To put them down briefly, volatiles have replaced howlers to trigger chases, and they are also strewn all across Villedor. Virals can join the chase, but they aren't as prevalent, as volatiles are pretty much the only chasers for majority of the time. Virals are no longer exclusively set for the first and second chases, they are merely assistants of sorts. The HUD indicators are now adjusted, and we'll expand on that in a bit. And the chase HUD in particular becomes more in line with the first Dying Light. Though as you can see, the levels of the chase that you're in are indicated in white when I kind of wish they were indicated in red, so I wish the colors were inverted. Survivor Sense now shows the skeleton of volatiles like the first game as well, instead of a red aura, though this can also be toggled. And the chase music has also been different. Some parts are added or have replaced parts of the original loop, and now works similar to the parkour, where the awareness is indicated by the volume of the music. With this, the chase trigger sound also plays when they become aware of you and the chase reignites before it is entirely concluded. As you also saw, the HUD is adjusted a little bit as well, becoming more condensed, which I appreciate. This isn't nearly as big as the other changes, but for accounting purposes, apart from the ones that I've already said, the health bar is adjusted, so now it is white for current health and red for lost, and the values now show in the extended HUD, which if you didn't know, you hold the map button for. Weapon durability also shows up in the extended HUD as a percentage value. The clock in the extended HUD now shows the amount of time left for the cycle transition, and changes to a phrase when the transition is near, and the character gear screen now reflects the time of day, which I thought was pretty neat. There's also the addition of color grading, which can change the style of the visuals. There's the normal one, if you prefer the saturated style of the game, gritty and its dark variant, if you wish to desaturate the game, which is more in line with an action film, the Dark Knight variant, which is pretty much what you expect, you need a flashlight in these at all times, and finally the Haran Sunset, which tints the world in a sort of gold, which makes it look very similar to the first Dying Light. Overall, this feels like a love letter and update to the fans and concurrent players of Dying Light 2. Techland genuinely cares about their player base, and this update, as well as the gut feeling update that came previously, proved that. I was already coming back to this game regularly to relax and enjoy, but as if my retention wouldn't be held enough, this update appears and makes me look forward to having downtime. I'm glad that this came, and I wouldn't have it any different. To me, it's also a bit surprising that my video on surviving chases has aged decently, if only for the fact that, as I mentioned, howlers are almost non-existent. This update though reignited the curiosity I had for a while, that being how they could possibly improve on the franchise for a potential third release, and I might have some idea on that. Should this gain traction, or if a handful of people wish to hear my thoughts, I'll make a follow-up video on how Dying Light 3 could improve on the game's already excellent gameplay. But until then, I say this to all the Night Runners. Good night, good luck, stay human, and I'll see you around.